You're coming up on your second trip home in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Is there any way to compare the emotions of your first trip home to see your mom to your trip home where you're going to be the enemy against Temple?
No, it's no way. It's just two different feelings, you know. This feeling to go see my mom was just all just happiness. This feeling is just all business. It's nothing pleasurable about this trip.
How many friends and family are you going to have in the arena?
I'm gonna have a couple people there.
Is it going to be half for Marcus and half for Temple?
It might be.
Are you going to have any time to take your team and get them out and show them some of Philadelphia, show them where you grew up, where you went to school, where you played, anything like that?
Yeah. I'm gonna see if Coach Brown let me take them out. It's supposed to be a snowstorm as soon as we get there, so we might get stuck in the snow. I want to see how some of these Dallas kids handle it.
You've been the enemy on the road before, obviously, everywhere you go. Now you're a nationally ranked enemy. How does that change things? How much have you guys talked about the fact that when you get introduced, they're going to say the number 23 SMU Mustangs and there's more of a bullseye? How do you approach that any differently, or do you?
You just since the rankings came out, you know, our mindset, I know as a team, not really like the coaches, but inside the locker room, we got a chip on our shoulder because we think we better than 23, you know, and so we know what we got to do to prove to everybody that we are better than 23. So and that's what we going to do.
So nobody's satisfied just getting into the rankings.
No.
Give me a sense of what the last few days have been like. This team hasn't been ranked since before you were born. What has it been like just walking to class or when your friends see you? How have things changed since you beat Cincinnati? There was that big scene where everybody stormed the court, and now here you are. People are talking about you on SportsCenter. SMU's now ranked. How are things different the last few days?
You get a little bit more love when you win it. But campus is great. You know, all the fans, all the students, everywhere you go, everybody's wishing you luck and telling you good game, and you can just feel the support, and you can feel like the energy is back in Moody and in the Dallas area. You go out to eat somewhere, now people know who we are and wishing us luck and talking about basketball. And you just feel that everybody's excited about us, and it makes us feel good.
When you transferred here, obviously the coaches told you certain things are going to get better and we're going to accomplish certain goals. Did you ever think you'd see a scene like you saw on Saturday, though, with the students pouring out onto the floor like that?
I thought I would see it not as quick as it's happening now, but I thought like maybe by my senior year we would be like really, really good, one of the top teams in the country, and everybody would be coming to watch us play. But we worked really hard to get here, so I'm not surprised. It's just shocking, you know. It's a great feeling, though. I'm enjoying it all.
Speaking of hard work, we're sitting here in the weight room. What's changed more since you got here, the team or you physically?
Me physically. Not take nothing away from my team because we all work hard, but definitely me physically.
Your strength coach, George Lynch, do you remember the first conversations you had with him when you sat down and said, all right, obviously you couldn't play last year because of the transfer rules. Do you remember when you sort of mapped out a plan for how you were going to work together to get you ready for where you are now? Do you remember that first conversation and what you talked about?
You just talked about how I could be a pro if I change my body, and that's really what I've been trying to do. You know, just taking it. He told me Rome wasn't built in a day, but he gonna get me there. So.
What changed more, your workouts or your diet?
I think both. I just buckled down, got serious about it, and haven't looked back since.
Coach Brown has talked about the entire team, how pretty much from the first guy to the last guy, everybody has bought into what he and the rest of the coaching staff are teaching. Did you buy in right away to what George Lynch was teaching you about fitness and diet and workouts? and the way you needed to change your body?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when it's coming from a guy that's already done it. He's already went through college and the pros, and to see the life that he has now out after basketball is inspirational. So when he tells you, a guy like that tells you something, you can't do nothing but listen to him and like really take it in, because he knows what he's talking about. He's lived it, he's done it before. And the same thing with like Eric Snow, when he talks to you, he gets everyone's attention, because we all want to be where he was at, like where he is. So,
when you were putting in the hours in the weight room, did you and Coach Lynch ever butt heads or?
Oh yeah, all the time. I throw the medicine ball back at him real hard. He'll throw it back at me real hard, or he'll make me do extra, or act like he lost count or something, or walk away when he's supposed to be spotting me. But we definitely bump heads. But I mean, it's paid off and it's working. So
he said that when you guys go to Philadelphia, if you take the team out to eat, he said you've earned having one Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, yeah.
But if you order two, he's going to take the second one from you. You cool with sharing with him and taking him out with the team?
Of course, yeah.
Are you going to get that cheesesteak, though, on your trip home?
Definitely. Definitely.
Now that you're nationally ranked and you've beaten ranked teams in Connecticut and Memphis and Cincinnati, people outside the team, at least, are talking about the possibility of the NCAA tournament. How much do you and your teammates talk about that?
That's the main goal. You can't help with the hair and the speculation about it, but in reality, the Final Four is in our hometown, and we're good enough to go. So that's our goal, is to make a shot for it. Just give it all we got, and I think that's the main reason that everybody's like really everyone has bought in, like from the first guy to the last guy, like Coach Brown said, because it's no longer just a thought that we can be a ranked team, a tournament team. It's a possibility, and everything changes when you that much closer to your goals. So everybody's hungry, the whole locker room.
You always hear coaches and players, though, talk about one game at a time. Our most important game is the next one on the schedule. Coach Brown lets you think big picture and talk about next week and next month and down the road?
All he talk about is the winning national championship. So that's what we talk about.
In the time that you guys have been playing in Moody, obviously you haven't lost yet since Moody reopened. The crowds have been packed. They've been loud. They've been developing a reputation for getting all over the other team, the coaches and the players. Philadelphia fans have a reputation too, right? How are Philadelphia fans different than Moody fans? What do you expect when you go up there as the enemy?
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be fun though. I think Moody is magical. It's crazy. When teams first walk in and warming up and stuff, you can see they got a look on their face like, oh yeah, we about to shut this crowd up and stuff. But when it gets going and you can't hear anything out there, it's tough. It's tough, and you can see just the look on some teams' faces when they come in, just like they weren't expecting it. Like you can't hear your coach calling plays. You can't hear calling out screens. It's literally like it's a gladiator war. Like, and for the whole week leading up to the Cincinnati game, we just were saying it's gonna be the clash of the Titans, and we were telling like the fans on campus like we need y'all to be on we need y'all like to really come ready to play like with us, and they're great, and Philly fans are great too. They're in the same way, but just so happens they're going to be against me. So I hope it's not as bad as our fans get on the opposing team when they come here, because it's tough.
You think about it. Eagles fans booed Santa Claus.
Right.
They cheered when Michael Irvin got hurt, and at the time there was some thought it was a very serious injury. They throw batteries, they start fights. Does that carry over to Temple and the other colleges in Philadelphia, or is that more of the pro fan up there?
It's more of the pro fan, but you never know how it gets when now that you're one of the top ranked teams coming into somebody's house, everybody shows up and it wakes up for those games, and then especially knowing that the team that's coming into play has a Philly kid on the team that essentially turned down Temple to go somewhere else, and then left Nova, left another Philly school, and now it's coming back. It might get rough for me, but I'm ready, and I know I got my teammates ready with me. So
I was going to say, obviously the fans are going to be against SMU, but as you said, you left Villanova, you left one of the hometown schools. You're going to get it worse than everybody, aren't you? What are you expecting to hear?
Oh, a bunch of stuff, but they can say they're gonna say I'm expecting to hear a lot of things, but I just gotta mellow the old guys out, and just play the game. Coach Brown, after the Memphis game, he said we gotta act like we've done it before, and he's always been preaching that all season, like act like you've done it before. So, I'm prepared for fans being after me and stuff, but I'm not gonna react to them or let them get to me. Just play my game, try to stay out of foul trouble.
Obviously, that's an issue recently because you had the incident over the weekend where Marcus Smart at Oklahoma State, somebody in the stands said something to him. They had the incident there, which led to his suspension. As a player, when opposing fans get after you, how do you block that out? I mean, do you literally not hear it at all, or do you hear it and then talk yourself through not reacting in any way? How do you avoid any emotional response to something like that if the fans really get personal with you?
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. It is tough, especially when you constantly can clearly hear what they're saying. Like sometimes it just be so much going on that you don't really hear it, like exact words and full words and stuff. But when you can hear exactly what fans are saying, sometimes it gets a little personal, and sometimes you get upset. But like me and little Nick Moore, we always say to each other, just the easiest way to shut him up is get buckets. So, I mean, that's what we gotta do, just get buckets.
Here you are, nationally ranked. People are talking about you not just locally but nationally. You have at least a good chance of going to the NCAAs. Has this team progressed faster than you expected, or did you start the season thinking that this was a very realistic place that we could be talking about in early February?
It's definitely everything's happening really, really quickly, but it's not unexpected. That's what we all came together for. You bring in a coach like Coach Brown and Coach Jank and KT and Yerk, and then everything else. Everything else just seems to fall into place. You bring in players like me and Nick and Crandall and Ben and Sterling and Keith, and then you get the top recruits coming in, and then that's how you start a powerhouse. And if there's a guy to do it, it's Coach Brown. So it's not unexpected. It's not surprising. It's just a good feeling, and it's great to be a part of because we making history.